Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have been appointed U.S. Security and Defense Budget. The U.S. Security and Defense Budget. If I was appointed the Security and Defense Budget, what would I do with it? The United States Security and Defense Budget. Um, DEFCON, Defense Con, DEFCON alerts. Wait. Okay. Wait. Hey guys, so basically, I'm talking about the security and defense budget today of the US. I'm not angry about anything here. I'm just saying that why would I be angry? I love money, but I'm trying to build my own stuff like security and defense budget. Okay, so the United States security and defense budget is like I don't even know about it, but when I look at that sum of money, first of all, it's so much more. Okay, U.S. security and defense budgets is basically the armed forces budgets, budgets. 895 billion pounds. You see, the problem with the US budget is that no problem with the US budget. You have to do something with that money. And it's security and US security and defense budget. There has to be some kind of arms race. Like, I want to be like very firm, with this kind of framework proposal. Like, if I have that, it's like 895 billion pounds. Yes, we spend on people's innovations. Yeah, people have to come up with projects and some of ideas. You know, and I took 5 billion pounds on the council. I'm the guy that took 5 billion pounds on the council. I'm so proud of that one. If it goes through with 5 billion pounds, no, no, no. I'm always saying, guys. So the idea is this. When you have security and defense, those are the armed forces. And the armed forces is what they use the money for. So like to train soldiers, uh to train soldiers to build new innovations. I want to say like if I had that kind of money, I could like if I was part of the budget. I don't know how the budget is divided, over security and budget, but the idea is uh you build a strong nation like Department of Defense. Yeah, I want to build drone innovation, like new stuff, like basically the wrong that basically I think I don't know the man's name, but you're taking the wrong direction in like the development of drones. For example, they're not building like the Iron Dome when you have drone threats, and some of the drone threats go through the Iron Dome, and that's a big problem. And it's a big because the direction we're faced. We're not building a robot so like China. Basically, like I want to speak about robots because the robots are like Iron Dome. What is Iron Dome? Iron Dome Hebrew, Israel Mobile, yeah, it's basically for I don't know all of this like how 22 million rockets barrel is supposed to Iron Dome. Is it Israeli? No, this is North American technology. See, I'm wrong. I mean, I shouldn't be wrong if I was just quoting the right things, but yeah. What is really Iron Dome, David? Basically, see, I'm not thinking about nuclear threats. I'm thinking about bombs. I'm thinking about like the new innovations in security, and that's like things like drones, things like you know, like what else? Shahed drones, Oni drones. I'm thinking of all this kind of machine because the drones are so small. They anti personnel. They really add you come they anti personnel and you can't. They're so versatile. You can't you can precisely you can the trajectory of to intercept them. You need new innovations and I'm worried your personnel get taken over like before the. So the Iron Dome is meant to be impenetrable. So we get this thing, a zero air defense system. I want to build my own air defense system. That entails short range intermediate ballistic missiles. That the aero system, which is with long range ballistic missiles. David Sling, it is seven missiles to long range missiles. Iron Dome, it is seven short range rockets. It's all missiles. What is it? Iron Dome? Let me show you what I'm looking at, guys. I'm in my house now. Finally, they give me a house. Yeah. What the original Iron Dome, David Sling, and Arrow missile defense. Yeah. Okay, so this is biased news. So it's not like I would use this bias to some degree, but kind of thing about the history of Hezbollah and Israeli. It's like it's like it's what I'm hinting at here. It's like the Hezbollah is started as social services, health and social services, like in Gaza, Lebanon. I'm not pro. I'm just pro life. I'm pro life. I don't want to talk about these things, but I want to talk about what I know, what I'm sure I know. I don't want to go into this the dilly dally stuff. It's like it's basically like brainwash or inception, getting mind control. Like that's how I feel like you get someone like I don't go to. So I just want to go about the defense system. So we get this thing here, the Iron Dome, we get the Davis Link, get the R system, we got all of this. Iron Dome is basically shield, designed to just sort of shield what is the shells the motors are ranged between 40 kilometers and 70 kilometers for mission launcher. The indoor battery was Israel autonomous for how Israel Iron Dome defense system works. This is plenty record destroying it. Enemy rocket fire, radar system detect rocket contracts, control system embed impact points, launcher fires missile. Yeah, this is a simple system. It's like a very simple step-by-step instruction algorithm follow. But it's basically but this is impossible. I don't know if that's something impossible. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like you say it, but you're no chart. You don't understand the full depth of the probability of it. So why you saying it's impossible? Uh, but it's best tested. It's basically good. You can know a lot about Iron Dome, but best tested, battle tested. But yeah, okay. I believe we should be. or three. I'm looking at the diagrams. I'm not scared of the diagram. This is like it can be studied. This can be versatile. It can be like Israel Gaza war. This is BBC News. I'm not. I shouldn't look at that. I'm not like angry about BBC News. I don't know nothing about like. Oh, that's the Middle East. That's Asia, Africa. Anyway, I gotta find a way to like because you know air defense is a very crucial thing like nowadays and like uh do you even use I don't even know what I was gonna say. I'm just talking to myself now. Mobile defense solution. Counting on Israel Iron Dome. When Hamas launched brutal unprovoked war, no, that's not true. Using souls, Palestinian. This is so like hard to read. I'm reading it, but it's hard to consume because it's all so much propaganda in it. It's so I can read it to you and see what I mean. It's like can I trust it? Can I? I don't even know to trust it to read it. You know what I'm saying? So, what is an Iron Dome? Iron Dome is a short-range ballistic defense system. Let me start from here. March 2, 2006, when Hamas launched its brutal and unprovoked war against Israel on October 7, 2023, firing thousand rockets at civilians area, which is not true. Uh, but this is a war, like yeah. So it's a war between Hamas and Israel that's been being part of a issue of genocide and of the Palestinian people, which I believe I'm correct, because I don't want to get the wrong information, and that's what's making it hard to read. I don't want to read all these things on the internet to incite anything. I don't incite anything, and that's what I'm fearful of. That's why I don't want to read it. I'm so scared. If I'm reading in my head, but I can't read it, I find out how to read it out loud because these things are not. It's not my own writing. It's something that because I'm trying to build my own systems too. Well, I'm not going to build rockets and defense drones. I don't have the budget for that. I don't have the money for that. But I have to find a way to build my Muko Ryan housing. By the way, let me show you the housing. www.mmUCO.org. This is the Muko portal. There's just nothing here. Not a back end, not a front end, just nothing. And that's what I should show you first. So like yeah, so that's what I'm saying. UK. So I think UK should be concentrating on like the innovations of like the modern innovation of tech, like drones, robots, other people's project ideas, and host a contest to see what idea holds up. If you can meet your own benchmark. I don't want to say anything I can't trust my own words because I can't trust my own words. I'm not gonna say all the things like threats exist. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say we need people to like we need intelligent people from universities like to build how to build like people are the main problem I'm worried about is the people who can't get into the defense, security and defense and get into the armed forces. Like not like the soldiers, the people that with the brains, the intellectuals that and scholars that uh the scholars that go into university and can't get into. I think that's the next step for the secure defense budget, and that's what the money should be spent on for the US. You know, I'm not like that's what I believe that should happen because should be able to like empower your own civilians to run to defend their own country, and that's nothing more American than that. Also, guys, the fly head on his face. Oh, okay, 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 yeah. That's what I say. But I want to be very firm. Like, I want to say, like, I want to empower people to like you know, like if institution can like not host competitions, like I mean host something, like because people should like be able to get into security and defense and to like build their own. Now, that's like a you should make a like build like weapons for the government, like build systems for the government so that defend the United States of America. Like it's a new era for the US. Like people should be more empowered to like you know build their own like via what is a team. I want to see someone that someone can be validated by the institutions too. It's that it works. It's like just this is the principal idea. You have to go into something in the real world because it's gonna be like not just university, but at a very young age, like maybe because maybe like some age like what age I was at? Thinking about maybe 15, 15, 16. If the age gap is like so they can actually have space to build their own when they turn 18. By 18, 15 or 16, 15 is good. 15 is a great age. Just get started, just enlist them. But I believe that's the next step for the like just to make sure that everyone can the not and that security can be uh, tightened, like so more secure, like and defense can be more defensive, because more open, not just tighten like let's say more open like to the public, yeah, all open to the public, accessible. Because by design, how it's designed, like it's basically literally, I won't give me, I won't take any money for the US. I want people to like have the like not just like all the lab projects they do, but to like use all the lab projects to do in their houses to build something that can be meaningful, something useful in a battle tested environment, stage by stage as you grow older. You know what I'm saying? Then you want to tell a team, you give them a degree because that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to be 15, 16, 17, 18. You have to grow into your domain. And that's what I did. So that's the idea. You have to like able to do it for a long period of time. And 15 is a great age to start. If a 14 wants to start, they can join when they're 15 because they can do it when they're 14. But not 13-year-old, just 15-year-old. Like, if 15-year-old start, 14, 15, and if like you want to really join, you should join to at least 14. And that should be it, like, to join this kind of program. I believe the defense is not really inclusive. People don't have the chance to like the defend. So no, I'm just I'm just talking about home defense. I'm talking about home defense. I'm talking about like I'm talking about home defense like with the shotguns and like I'm talking about like defense in the kind of geopolitical aspect, like international like, when it comes to a nation, the nation of America, the nation or the what America really is, talking about defense at a global, at a larger scale, like a platoon or an army or coordination is there, it'd be like kind of engage to see whether how people can create their own persona, their own profile of what it means to what threat, how to deal with certain threat, like what is in space, and land, and sea, like the Marines. Yeah, just to see what threat is like. You know what I'm saying?